go.
Hold your balls.
Another one of these things.
Another one.
Help me hit start here. Yep, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Gotta hit that.
We got it all.
Glasses off. And away we go.
Another episode of Shit Talk.
Welcome to the shitter.
What's going on?
Besides you got me as soon as I was taking a sip of water.
Like when you go out for dinner.
Yeah. When they ask you how your meal is.
Yeah, when you go.
Yeah. As soon as it hits the fucking table.
You got a face full of food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it?
It's great.
I didn't even grab my fork yet.
Yeah, it's great. Go away.
Yeah.
That's the best waiters, waitresses. They go far away. I mean, they just kind of keep an eye on you from a distance.
Yeah.
You know.
The only person I want on top of me is the bartender.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I never want it to, go empty.
Or at least.
Like, when it's, getting towards the end, they should be asking you if you want another one.
Right. I mean, unless it's a gigantic place, which, why are you going there anyway? You know,
No.
Should be a nice small bar.
They just need more hustle.
Right. But.
Shake that ass. Daddy got dollars.
That's a different bar.
yeah, right. I haven't been in one of those bars in decades.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about Bourbon Street. I can't remember who the hell it was.
Andy?
No.
That feels like a Bourbon Street guy.
Oh, it was. We used to, every year for his birthday, we used to do the run.
Oh, yeah.
So we would go from I'd pick him up in South Amboy, and we'd hit Bourbon, and we'd go all the way down to Fantasies, and then we'd go all the way back up to Linden,
right,
Avenel, and then work our way back down to South Amboy. We'd be fucked up all day, just driving drunk on the Parkway and wherever else, and
giving Andy B his needs for a year.
Exactly.
Oh, Andy, did you have to beep out B?
Nah.
Yeah, you won't care.
Nah, it's not like his last name is B.
Yeah, it's true.
B-E-E.
Right. But, I mean, there used to be the one right next to where I worked when I delivered pizza. The naked joint, the juice bar, Go-Go-Rama.
Oh, you delivered to Lisa's?
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's the best job I ever had in my life, even to this day.
No kidding.
Dude would deliver pizza for 5 hours. And I would make two days, Friday, Saturday, 5 hours, and 4 hours on Sunday. I'd make enough money for the week, and then some.
Nice.
All cash. I made so much money when I lost my license, I hired a driver. I had a driver. I paid them $40 for the 4 hours, or $50 for the 5 hours, and I would keep the tips, and I still had plenty of money.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, God, my mom hated it. But
why? Because it wasn't a real job?
Yeah, go get another job. I mean, you got all this week. No.
Just get another delivery job.
Right. And you got to think about it. Pizza was like $6. Yeah. And that was the minimum delivery. Was $6.
Imagine buying a $6 pizza now.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to bite into it.
No.
Just throw that shit in the garbage.
And so we have at first he had a delivery car. It was a Sunfire or Sunbird or something. It was
I had one of those.
A little thing.
Yeah. I bought it for $150.
Yeah, that's
because we were going to take it down to Florida, me and Jimmy Hester.
Right.
We got to the Jersey-Delaware border, and every light on the panel came on, all at once. It just went whap, and everything was red and yellow, and we were like, yeah, we're not making it down to Florida with this piece of crap.
So, almost like that.
So I bought it off of him,
right.
And it lasted for another 2 years. And he was so mad.
Yeah, because it
cost
just
me
a fluke thing.
$150. Yeah, we could have shared a car.
All right. So what this guy did was he took out all the seats like a NASCAR. Mm-hmm. So you had one seat and then plywood, because you would make 70 deliveries a night.
Okay.
Like I would park at the top of a street and just
wait.
walk.
When you say plywood, so you had a driver's seat,
and that's it,
right? But was it back?
It was like it could move. The driver's seat could move forward or back, like a regular.
So it was in its regular spot. Everything else was gone.
Plywood.
Side and back seat
was just a big.
And he made a
shelf.
A shelf, okay.
And we
perfectly flat so pizzas don't slide.
Fill the car with pizza, and then I would go to a block. Because $6 pizza, I would stop at the top of the block and carry 10 pizzas like a mailman.
Nice.
And then I'd make tips.
Okay.
$2, buck, whatever it was.
All right.
And it would add up because you do 70 deliveries. I mean, at the minimum, you'd make $150 a night.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of money.
Way better than delivering papers.
Right, at 18 years old. It's perfect. So anyway, it got switched over where we lost the Sunbird because I'm driving the Sunbird one day. Well, I the night before he tells me, listen, my cousin's coming. He's going to do some work on the car. Needs an oil change. Okay, cool. So I get the car on it. It's a Monday.
I'm going to say this. Sunbirds never needed oil changes. Not in my book.
Yeah, well.
That's an extra couple of bucks out of my pocket.
That's right. So I hop in this Sunbird on a Monday because he asked me to deliver Monday. Somebody called out. All right. I got a bunch of deliveries in the car. I pull up to his house. I grab the pizza. I bring it up to the door, and then the guy starts stuttering. I'm like, you all right? Like, maybe this guy's hammered. That's not unusual. We got a bunch of guys that are hammered ordering pizza.
Sure, of course.
All of a sudden, he spits out fire. Fire. And I turn around, and the entire car's engulfed in flames.
Wow.
He
Nice.
comes running out with a regular old
Like from his kitchen?
Yeah.
One of those little tiny ones?
yeah, nothing.
Right.
And now he's thinking television. This thing's going to explode like some 70s show.
Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden, his wife must have called the fire company or whatever. They came. They put it out, right? Like a walking back.
Yeah, because they're right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was in walking distance. So I walk back. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, your car caught on fire. He's like, what?
Yeah, nice.
Turns out the guy...
Stuttering guy?
No, the mechanic friend
Okay.
changed the gas filter but didn't tighten. I guess the gas filter was kind of in a line with two little clips.
Okay.
And he didn't clip them tight enough.
Oh, so
it was
gas
leaking
was-
gas onto the engine.
Nice.
So I guess once the engine got hot enough,
Cool.
marshmallows.
We were driving in Manhattan one day, going to see a Slayer show. And Bob's car caught on fire at a light. So I think we were close to Times Square.
Right.
Because we just saw all this smoke. So he lifts the hood, and this guy Brian that we hung out with got out of the passenger seat and went in the front with him like that. So as soon as he picked up the hood, it just went, and you saw the flames just shot up.
Right.
And he reaches over and he rips the guy Brian's shirt off and starts putting the fucking fire out with his shirt. So the guy has no shirt to go to the concert with.
He's already naked walking into it.
Yeah, exactly. That crazy fucker.
It was in the middle of Manhattan, and
Yeah, it was like right in at a light.
anybody help? Stop?
No.
Cops? Anything?
No, it happened all pretty fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, he put it out, and then we just drove away. We just kept going.
but never knew why.
No, he never turned the car off.
Right.
Yeah, it was burning and it was running at the same time.
That's them up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One time I was driving on the West Side Highway, and my tire shot off.
The whole
The whole fucking tire shot off. It like took a skid, hit a bounce, and then shot up and almost hit the telephone wires going across. Like
Damn.
it just went and shot off into the universe.
so they never came back.
Never came
It
back.
just got lost.
Well, we saw it like rolled around and we caught it over there.
I had a hood fly up. That's no fun either.
No, that's scary as
You're
shit.
just driving, all of a sudden, it seemed like
Yeah.
you start looking. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Bang!
Wow. Did the windshield crack?
No,
That's good.
but I had to tie it down with my shoelaces to get home.
Nice.
And the thing's like,
Nice.
I'm like, terrible.
I had a K car. And
We had no money. This is what we drove.
it was brown, like shit brown K car. And the shock had shot through the hood. So
Oh.
when you picked up the hood, it had it looked like a bullet hole in it. You could see. And it had these recapped tires. And if you ever see, like when you're driving down the turnpike, you'll see big treads.
Yeah.
That the
From the 18-wheelers.
right,
The
because
retread.
they're retreaded tires,
Right.
and sooner or later it just falls off.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when you only have 4 of those, it's a big difference.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So when it starts coming off, it's like slapping every rotation.
Oh, my God.
So I'm driving
Super
through
pop.
Main Street, Woodbridge, in the middle of the night, and it's going, bam, 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 and everybody on the sidewalk is looking like, what the hell is going on?
What the the fuck is that?
I had such piece of shit cars.
Dude.
I had a rule that I would never pay more than $500 for a car.
It's a good rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
And
I'd
I would
pay more
drive
than
them until they dropped. I never got the
Yeah.
oil changed, never did any mechanical work to it. Just whatever happened, and then
There's no such thing.
you called the tow truck and you bought something else.
Right. There's no such thing. There's no more $500 cars.
Oh, hell no.
It's all whatever.
I'd be scared just to turn it on.
Right. We had that. I had that Nova. It was an old Nova, and the seats were broken, so it
It
looked
was
like
a green one, right?
Yeah, and
I remember.
And I was driving here, so I got pulled over, and the cop had me get out of the car, and he's like, "I was like, seats are broken." He's like, "Fuck, get a job." We had the Nova. Me and you drove going into the tunnel. Remember? We're driving. We're slaloming the cones, going onto, and we
Yeah.
got to the toll booth, and the guy's like, "You smell that? Smell what?" He's like, "You got cones stuck to the front of your car." Oh yeah, I'll take care of that. I don't know where that came from.
That was the car where all the electricity died when we were listening to Merciful Fate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then everybody passed
It
us,
was Bewitched.
and we went back to go get it, and it started.
Sorry, getting over cold.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
It was pretty nasty.
Oh, the good old days of driving scrappers.
Yeah, not anymore. You could even get $100 if you brought it to turn it in for the metal. So you really didn't.
Yeah,
lose. You didn't
scrap
lose.
metal ain't worth
Yeah.
a darn.
You had the Cadillac. I remember when you had that big Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one we cruise controlled, I think, all the way to Seaside.
Yeah, that was my dad's car.
It was it?
Yeah.
Don't-
And he passed away in '86,
right.
so I got it. So I was a high school senior driving, like, basically a brand new Cadillac.
The Caddo.
Yeah, it was cool. But I had hair down to my waist, and
Oh, yeah.
so I got pulled over all the time. Anytime a cop drove up, they thought they were looking at a hot chick, and they'd see me, and they'd be like,
Pull over.
they'd make the pull over face. They used to tear out my back seat and throw it on the side of the road.
Oh, really?
Looking for drugs, yeah.
Oh,
It was like, if you remember, the outside was brown and the
Mhm.
inside was like a tan leather.
yeah.
So it always had grass stains on it, and I was like, dicks. But
I remember when we drove it to Seaside, and we didn't turn off the cruise control, and we hit those toll booths at 80.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember that, and I remember passing people on the side of a hill.
You used to be able just to do this. Like you were pretending to throw a coin
Oh,
in. Beep. Oh, shit, it bounced out.
yeah. But because I'll never forget the sound of a quarter hitting a toll booth at 80.
Yeah.
Swang!
It's a little bit of a game.
Right.
It was like the original cornhole.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or,
High-speed cornhole.
or if you got on the parkway somewhere around the Oranges at like 2 a.m, you just went. Well, say you made the effort, right? Okay, I'm going to be a good citizen. And then you'd hear your quarter hit a piece of plywood, and you'd see two guys go outside of the building. They would plywood the thing.
Yeah, so they could catch it
Chump
all.
change.
Nice.
And I'm like, I'm not stopping to argue.
No.
Enjoy your night,
There you
guys.
go. Yeah.
Back in the shadows. Oh, man. Everything. Not anymore, man. They got you on a camera. They got you on radar. They got you,
It's all electronic now.
That's right. You can't get away.
Mm-mm. Nope. Too many pictures of your plate.
Too many pictures. Like, even I was in Staten Island, they still use speed cameras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all throughout New York City.
Yeah, they still use speed cameras.
Because they lowered the speed limit to 25 everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unless marked, it's 25 miles an hour. It's so painful to drive 25 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
It's like you're just coasting.
Right.
You can't be on the gas at all.
You should learn to set a car's idle at 25, and then you can just take your feet off the pedals and just drive. Let your Tesla stop or whatever. Auto drive.
Sure. Do
No.
a Flintstone stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I mean, when you figure the Tesla, you just read your book, right? You don't have to do anything.
Hell no.
Does the
Can't do that.
auto drives take care of everything?
That's crazy. I would never do that.
Yeah, that would be pretty nuts. Cause there's videos of those people napping.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
frightening.
you're not supposed to.
No, I would think not.
Right. It's like cruise control. It's just,
It's a little aid,
you
but
can't fall asleep.
right. Supposedly, these guys thought you could.
Yeah.
And there's
What
got to
happened?
there's got to be people who before this auto driving who thought cruise control just did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like when cruise control first was around.
Like they thought it was a plane in
Yeah.
movies?
Yeah, like you just put
Just
it on.
put on autopilot.
Yeah, and just watch.
Right.
It's a big difference when you're in the sky and there's nothing but maybe an occasional mountain.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to hit another plane. If you're near another plane, that's trouble. But
Right. It
yeah.
knows just to bank a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, I taught a pilot.
I taught.
Yeah, I taught so putty, whatever. Fuck that thing.
Tootie pad.
Yeah. I gave lessons to a pilot, and he
You taught a pilot how to fly a plane?
no, I wish
Okay.
the results would have been a lot different. I taught him music,
Oh, okay.
and he, in turn, gave me I took one lesson with him.
Oh, you did a little swap-a-roo.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, well, it's really unfair. I'd have to give him like 6 lessons for one pilot's lesson. But it was cool. Like, he flew for Continental, but he was like a training pilot. But when he did his piloting, like commercial, he's like, you don't do anything. I was like, what? He's like, you start. Because you don't even land them really anymore. Because
Really?
unless the weather's bad. At the time, he was like, unless the weather's bad, you got to kind of take control. Usually the plane does everything itself.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He said in the...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was a 70. I think he said he was always good. He would always pick up chicks. And that was always his first date. Oh, we'll just take a ride for dinner. And
Yeah.
they would grab his plane and he would go like to Martha's Vineyard or something. I said, how was your second date? He was like, there's never a second date. So I didn't have nothing else to offer. So he gets me in. So we exchange. We go down to, there's an airfield. He rents.
That's a lot to build up to. I mean, to
live up to after
live
that,
up to. Yeah. Where are you gonna go for the second one?
Yeah.
Taking Jamaica or something?
Yeah, it's like every day we're gonna fly
every day
somewhere.
they're gonna want to go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though the fuel was probably expensive, not like now, like probably through the roof, but
Right.
so he meets me. I meet him rather at the small airfield. He's gonna give me a lesson, right? And he's like, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this like a real lesson, even though because you're not really a student. He showed me the plane. Showed me, So I had no idea you fly a plane with your feet at that level.
Mm-hmm.
There's no steering wheel. There's no wheels that turn. It's just brakes. You brake one side to turn the other way when you're on the ground.
On the ground.
You're on the ground, you're rolling along. The engine is moving you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you put your foot on the left side and it'll stop and you'll turn the right.
I got you. All right.
Vice versa, right?
Right.
So he's like, you want to take it down the runway?
It's like a big wheel.
Exactly.
Like you pull that
Yeah.
thing.
So I'm like, he's like, you
Yeah.
wanna take it down the runway and take it off? Sure. So we're going. I'm trying this thing, dealing with my feet, and it's shuffling. He goes, oh yeah, those wings are 8 feet on each side. You should probably be mindful of that. I'm like, excuse me? Like this close to all the parked planes. He's like, I got it. So
Fucking guy. He's the instructor?
yeah. So we get down to the end of the runway, turn around, and we're facing. And he says to me, don't point down. I go, what? He goes, if we have any issues during takeoff, he goes, do not aim down. He goes, I'll land this thing with no wings. He goes, but I can't land it if we're straight down.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I go, if we have any problem, I can aim for 287. He's like, what? I'm like, I hate those people. He's like, no. So take off, right? Fly the plane, and we're flying, and it's so fucking loud. It's like a Volkswagen. It's like, and he's talking on the radio. I'm like, how does he hear? I'm like, I had the headphones on, or the headset. I can't hear anything. I'm like, you getting all that? He's like, yeah. So we're flying. We flew through the Verrazano. Flew through the Verrazano hump.
Okay.
And at the time, we flew up and down the I guess that's the West Side Highway, right? Or the East River. I don't know which one that was. What's the one closer to Jersey? At the East River?
The Hudson.
The Hudson.
Yeah, East River's on the Brooklyn side.
Yeah. So we're only 900 feet. You couldn't be above 1,000 feet. So you're below the buildings. You're below the towers and all that. Right? You go up. We go around. We do this turn. And we're just flying, goofing around. He's like, all right, let's go home. And it's dark. I go, what? I go, I have no idea where I am. He's like, you see that little green dot? I'm like, it's like way out. He's like, just follow those. We'll get you home. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't know how they do it.
Okay.
So, all right. So we flew and then we landed. It was cool. It was great. But
And there's more green dots?
there's
along
green
the
dots.
way?
Yeah. There's these little green dots.
They're just along the coast, or they
No,
like on buoys or
they
something?
must be on top of towers, like cell tower or whatever,
Okay.
or water towers. I don't know. But there's green dots all over the place, and it got us to the other airfield.
Okay.
Like but that airfield has no towers. I'm like, what? He goes, well, we're just visual. I'm like, do we have headlights? He's like, I think so.
It's-
I mean, we think so. So we ended
yeah,
up
but how far could they go? Really?
right. But then I'm like saying to myself, we got to have some kind of marker so that nobody runs into us if it's an untowered airport, right?
Right.
So it was cool.
Yeah,
though.
how do you know if somebody's taking off and
Right.
landing? I mean, I guess he's on the horn.
Yeah, I guess
talking to
there's somebody
right?
there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we're nowhere near like a major airport, so you're nowhere near.
Would you fly into Linden?
No, Manville's Cupper Airfield.
Okay.
It's like tiny. It's like driving down somebody's backyard. It was
Okay.
kind of weird, but it was fun. I mean, and I couldn't afford to do that though.
Yeah, but it's cool.
6 lessons for one. He wasn't that good. I could have probably milked it out. I probably could have got my fucking jet's license,
Why not?
but
Should have.
yeah, that's probably an expensive
That's
hobby.
cool though. I mean, you got to fly it over the Hudson River. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, flew it through the Verrazano humps, and
That's cool.
we did a 0G thing where he took us straight up and then straight down.
Yeah,
like-
I would have fucking punched him for that.
Yeah,
I don't like shit like that at all.
no roller coasters, not a big fan. of those.
No. Or those, what are those rides that they bring you to the top and they just drop
Oh,
you?
they just drop those free falling
Yeah,
things.
fuck that shit.
Yeah, or would a simulator screw you up too?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because some of them are pretty. They move the bottoms out and would shift you hard and stuff.
Right.
I don't know. That was kind of cool.
What's that thing that spins real fast and the gravity sucks you to the wall and then the bottom drops out of it?
The rotor? I think it's the rotor.
The rotor.
Yeah, built by some guy
Yeah.
who's on a warrant, just showed up
Right.
at your town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same guy that designed the rides at Vernon Valley
Yep.
at Action Park.
Oh. Anytime a guy in a T-shirt shows nut bolts in his hand, he's putting you on a ride. You should probably be worried.
Exactly.
But
He's collecting your ticket and he's putting bolts in his
yeah,
pocket.
and he's like, I don't know where these go. Those things are. I mean, it's frightening. These convicts show up at your town. I mean, it's.
Right.
Did you ever let your kids ride those rides?
Like at fairs?
Yeah.
No, there's really no fairs anymore.
I mean, there's one in my town, but it's like it's all fakakta now because it's COVID. They making people prepay and stuff like
Right.
that. It's not like you used to just show up in the field and
Right. Carnies
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah, frightening people.
Ronnie B was a carny, wasn't he?
Yeah, that fits. So fucking good. Yeah, I think he was a carny. And then there's that whole town in Florida that's full of carnies.
Miami?
No, I don't know the name of the town, but it was a movie or documentary on Netflix about Lobster Boy, and it was all.
Wait a minute. Don't just run past that. There's a guy called Lobster Boy.
Yeah, he had.
Is the documentary also called Lobster Boy?
I think it was the murder of Lobster Boy or something like
The
that.
murder of Lobster
You have to look it up. But he lived in a town somewhere in Florida, like one of these little small towns of Florida. But it was full of carnies. Like you would
Right.
see somebody juggling in their backyard or sword swallowing or whatever they're doing.
Until the head of acquisitions at Red Lobster found out that guy existed.
Yeah, we need you as a spokesman. You're out. I think it's the
Just
murder.
threw his ass in a pot.
That's right. They don't have any hot water
Yeah, you could take care of the entire weekend with one guy.
with Lobster Boy. Yeah, but like they said you would just see bearded ladies walking down the block. All the freak show people, and it was like a town. I mean, I don't know the whole story. I certainly don't remember the documentary. It's a long time ago. But if anybody's interested, go look it up.
All right, the murder of Lobster
I
Boy.
think that's what it was called. Unless he was the murderer,
The Lob.
that would make it a little more sassy.
So
I don't know how he could pull the trigger. He
I
has
had a
lobster
friend
hands.
who retired from the local PD, and he got called out on some kind of domestic dispute over at the Red Lobster, and so he's talking to the woman, and apparently he'd seen the couple before. Like they're always getting into fights, right? So,
At the Red Lobster?
just wherever they are.
Oh, they just
I
fight.
guess they live together. And he's like, why do you keep hanging out with this guy if he's going to punch you around all the time? And she's like, a girl can't say no to the lob.
The lob? What
The Red Lobster. She loves the Red Lobster.
I thought he meant like the lob, like
Like lobbing her off a fucking bridge?
no, when it comes out of the end, it's like a lob, like we
No,
toss
no.
a softball.
No, she likes a Red Lobster.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the goo at the lobs it in. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I never heard of it called the lob.
Fuck.
Man.
Speaking of lobbing something. Hi.
Hey. What do you think of zoos?
I am anti-zoo.
Are you?
I am. I don't like seeing the animals caged.
Okay.
Not a big fan.
No.
I mean, it's kind of cool for kids. They get to see them because they wouldn't be able to see those animals.
Right.
You know, I'm not dragging my kids to Africa
Right.
to go on a safari.
You might come back with less.
Right. Or more.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, they're probably cheap.
A couple growths.
I'm semi for them. I'm for them for the research is okay. I'm not talking about like some piddly like roadside zoo. You got three-legged deer or whatever, like that one in New
Space
Brunswick.
farms?
Yeah, that kind of shit. No, but I mean like a real zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you got so many of these freaking mouth breathers out here with wild animals. Like
in Florida and Texas?
in New Jersey, didn't they just catch somebody with a crocodile in New Jersey or an
Did they?
alligator? Yeah.
No kidding.
That thing was gigantic.
Idiot.
Well, because I'm thinking about it because the other day I was reading some article and cops in New Mexico, went to a domestic disturbance, as you do in a trailer park.
Sure.
And so now they're going around the trailer park, and then for some reason they go to another trailer.
That's just a name for a barbecue there.
Yeah. They go into the trailer, and someone's got a 4-month-old tiger in a dog cage in their trailer. Now, you really want Betty from the animal shelter to come get that tiger, or that you don't want the cops to kill it for no good reason?
How big was it at 4 months? Probably like 70 pounds.
The picture looked pretty good. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good size.
it had to be.
Yeah.
Like a good dog size already, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like probably the size of one of my dogs. At least 70 to 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you ever touch? You ever touch a tiger? I did.
Shh.
In Mexico.
Nobody needs to know.
I think it was Mexico. They charged, and it was probably it's hard to say it's a scam. It was probably some sort of scam. Like, oh yeah, you can pet the tigers, donate money, and we're going to build some kind of sanctuary.
It's probably a donkey that they painted stripes on.
It was a tiger. I'll tell you what, the tigers were like, I don't know, foot big maybe, and they were strong as shit.
You mean they were little babies?
Yeah, they were kittens. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I guess they're kittens. I don't know, but strong. Like strong as an adult dog, like with its paws.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, why would you want this in your house?
No. No. I see people with those things, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
But if we don't have zoos, who's going to get the tiger when they discover some idiot's got one? Or like that lady. Didn't the lady have her face eaten off by the chimps? And
Oh, yeah, that was like 15 years ago or so, right?
That shit happens. Or
yeah.
There was the dude in Manhattan.
Well, I think they go for your fingers first.
Right, they probably disable you, right?
Yeah, they realize that that's how you can win.
Right.
Because you could grab it. Yeah, they're pissed about the thumb.
That's right.
They're like,
still holding that grudge.
There can be only one.
That's right.
That's right. And then they go for your gonads.
Right. And then they just kill you slowly.
Yeah,
they probably eat you alive. They
Yeah.
probably, you're alive for all of it. It's not like
sure
you're going to get, and
tastes like chicken.
Probably.
Yeah.
Will probably taste better than whatever you're feeding them. How many bananas you want to eat?
Yeah, exactly.
I need a little something more in my diet than bananas.
Did you ever see the picture of that orangutan spearfishing?
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yeah. Like he learned how to spearfish.
He made it on his own?
I don't know if he made it or he'd probably watched somebody doing it.
Right.
And then maybe somebody left the spear there and he just picked it up, and I don't know if he actually made the spear.
That's only a step away from Planet of the Apes.
It's coming, dude. It's coming.
Frightening. And then that guy, there was years ago, I don't know if you ever remember, there was a dude in, was it the Bronx? Brooklyn? I don't know. Harlem? I don't know.
He learned how to spearfish?
You might. You got the river right there.
Yeah.
But he had a tiger in his apartment. They went something for a disturbance, and they were looking in the window, and there was a tiger in the bathroom. A full-size tiger in the bathroom in Manhattan. Come on now. But what are you going to do? Obviously, I think they probably killed it. I hope not. You got the Bronx Zoo right there, but without a zoo,
Yeah, they could probably trank it.
right? But without a zoo,
Imagine carrying that out of a little apartment, though. Like 6th floor walk up.
yeah.
Oh.
Or if it's in the projects, it's 10 stories up.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
terrible.
go back in your house. It's got to smell terrible. It's a wild animal.
Now, here's the balls of that. You got a tiger in your bathroom, and you're taking a shit. You don't think that tiger's like, motherfucker, man.
Yeah, it's my room.
Yeah, this is my room.
Yeah,
You're pissing in my bathtub where I sleep,
right.
washing your nutsack,
In my drinking water.
and now you're gonna shit, and I have to breathe that in all day.
Right.
You couldn't have gone with Glade or Airwick.
I would have to think they moved out and left them there. I don't know the whole story. It's out there, like most stories. I don't know. I don't remember the whole thing. I remember enough to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
But I mean, idiots are always getting pinched for snakes, fucking lethal snakes. You know, it's like. But if we don't have a zoo, ain't nowhere to go. You know what I mean? I mean, as opposed to like SeaWorld, which that's terrible.
Yeah, you ever see those documentaries?
Yeah, those are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Blackwater or something like that?
Blackfish?
Blackfish?
Blackwater, isn't that the CIA thing? Is that Blackwater?
Oh, they're like, are they ex-military, like hired guns?
Yeah. Something
Mercenaries?
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Blackfish?
Yeah. They take the trainers down to the bottom of the water and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are. I think those are more terrible. I guess they do research too, but can't they do that out in the open water somehow?
Yeah, I don't like the whole idea. Just let them be free.
Right. I get that, but I think we need them
Because of the fools.
because of the fools.
So you basically can make like an escape from New York, but for animals.
Just animals run
Get them
wild.
get them an island,
That's right.
and just transport them all there,
Like, there's got to be something around, right? Piece of property,
and it'll balance out. The nature will balance out at some point, right?
little mini Africa.
I wonder if you can well, some of them I'm sure you can reintroduce into the wild.
I'm sure. Depends on what level. Of,
Yeah, it would probably vary from animal to animal.
Right.
But there's got to be some experts out there that would know how to do that.
I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, would a tiger survive?
Because there's only so many zoos, right? And there's only
big ones, right?
so much space and resources to take care of
Right.
tigers that somebody grew in
I mean,
South.
I feel like it gets a little sketchier. The farther away you get from metropolitan areas, like those. Like in camp, like guy's got a big yard in Texas and he's got tigers.
Yeah.
And they kind of call it a zoo. I don't know if that's a zoo. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're like you mean like somebody who's got a big ranch or something?
Yeah, and they have them on the ranch.
Well, he probably also has, like tall electric fences and shit like that.
You'd hope.
If he's a rancher, he probably already has pens and whatnot. So
You'd hope.
yeah,
Go wander.
for something like that, you would.
I mean, but wouldn't that, like, I guess if you put
You're
him,
sitting there watching TV and you just hear.
yeah, he's scraping.
Yeah.
Probably no different than a black bear coming into your back window.
No thanks.
Yeah, you guys don't have that over here. We had it in our backyard. We didn't see it, but it was wandering through the backyards.
No thanks.
And that's because of people. They build enough houses and they got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And they populate fast, and then people get mad when they cull the population. It's a never-ending game. I don't know. What's the answer?
I've seen deer here.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen deer in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them walking down my street.
Which is odd, right?
Yeah. 3 of them side by side by side. I've seen foxes,
Okay.
which was kind of weird.
Hmm.
I see deer, like, in the local park
Right.
a lot. It's not big, though.
No.
I mean, they're like, there's a lake, and there's a road that does like a horseshoe around the lake, to go in and out.
Mhm.
And then the train tracks are there for Amtrak
Okay.
going into the city, and they're like hanging out right there.
Right. because they probably don't. They don't hear the noises. They. I don't know if their memory is that good. You know what I mean? They don't hear the click of a shotgun in those areas. Like, okay, I don't hear that going on here.
Right.
You know, so I'm kind of safe. I mean, they're migratory, I think, so they move around. I mean, but hell of a lot different than a tiger walking down the block because your neighbor decided to catch one or whatever, acquire one. I don't even know how you buy one. I guess if you got enough money, you can buy anything.
Right. Bitcoin.
Yeah. Send me my tiger.
That's right.
He probably goes out to the Midwest and goes get that tiger from the guy who's got him on his ranch.
Could be.
Says, I can't, because my tigers just had kids. Because I'm sure once tigers start having babies, you ain't going to break up two tigers.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Yeah, well, it's
crazy. But, you know, just to feed that thing must be insane.
Yeah, especially the cost of meat. Right?
Yeah.
Got to feed them meat.
Yeah.
Feeding them cat food.
I mean, you're a rancher. You got to, like, keep throwing away your livestock all the time to feed this stupid tiger.
That was stupid. I thought they were smart.
No, I'm just saying it's stupid for a pet. It's stupid.
Yeah, well, that's people. Status? Hey, check out what I got.
Yeah, I know. People are stupid.
No, I agree.
Dumbasses.
Do you think we miss our tail? Right? Like the monkeys? We give up the tail for the thumb?
What would you do with it?
Blow my...
What you gonna do?
You fart, you just gotta wag it out of there.
Oh, you forgot to close the door?
Yeah. I mean,
just whip it out there?
I'm in a knife fight. All of a sudden, I use that tail, grab a knife out of my back pocket. I start stabbing people with it. The guy behind me. There's got to be a use for it, right?
Yeah, you know, I guess if you got, like, an itchy ass, you use the tail and nobody knows, right?
Exactly.
And now if you reach back there, everybody's like, "Whew, dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it's a little unsightly. You got your thumb in your ass, but your tail.
Yeah, you're pulling plums. What are you doing?
Right. Well, you think it would probably, but open an industry, right? Seats would have to be rebuilt to support your. You can't sit on your tail. So if there's not a back and there's a hole to put your tail through.
Just throw it over your shoulder.
Yeah, wouldn't that get in the way while you're eating?
Hey, you can use it to wipe your mouth.
It's probably got to be pretty cool. Like, hey, I'm carrying all this shit, and all of a sudden use the tail to carry something. I mean, there had to be some purpose for it, right?
I could think of a few things.
We're finding a bunch now.
Pickpocket with that?
That's right. Keep a guy busy while you're...
There you go.
I don't think it's a cartoon tail.
You could grab ass on the subway. You could do all kinds of things with that.
Grab ass.
Make somebody your best friend.
I don't know what was happening, but it was happening. This tail walked.
This guy with the tail came on?
Right.
Okay, lady.
And how could you tell? Because everybody have a tail.
Oh, I'm not the only one?
No, I would think we'd all have tails, right?
I don't like that.
I mean, I guess depending on what part of the evolutionary chain we're on, if we got.
I want to be Timmy Tails. I want to be the only
Your
one.
mob name. Every crime, there's a little bit of fucking fur left behind. What is that?
Tuft.
Yeah, would you have a tail like that, like a fluffy tail, or would you have like a Pink Panther tail, which looks a little more?
I picture it like a lion's tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short and.
No, they're long, but they're like a smooth
whip?
tail with the tuft of hair at the end.
Oh, I'm thinking Pink Panther.
Like a Who. Like somebody from Whoville.
Wasn't he a Nazi?
Who?
No.
Oh, Seuss?
Seuss?
No, I think it was Jew.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so.
But what was the big hang-up with that dude? There was a big to-do with him about Dr. Seuss. I don't know what it was. You sure?
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah, figure that out.
All right.
There was something about Dr. Seuss, or was it with the wife?
Dr. Seuss clothing.
For adults, that's frightening.
Seuss. I can't even speak. Let's
go
go with good old Wiki. They were
seems
obviously always... Get this pop-up shit out of here.
Oh,
I never knew what the guy looked like.
Yeah, he looks like Dick Clark.
Yeah. That's a bright page, huh?
Yeah. After the war.
Life and career, early years.
He worked during World War II. What was that? Dr. Seuss. Later years.
He moved to La Jolla. Nice.
Nice area.
He's got the big bucks.
Man.
He's got all that Seuss money.
Right? Doesn't look like there's anything bad on his. Doesn't look like there's anything bad on his.
Cancer. Yeah, I don't see it.
Right, political views. What do we got here? Liberal Democrat.
It's a crime in itself.
Sometimes. Children's books. Poetic. Artwork. That's a little bit of a stretch. Nothing. I thought there was something, some kind of dilemma with Dr. Seuss. Look up Dr. Seuss controversy or something.
That was, see, I was looking for a word and I couldn't think of it.
There you go. Get Dr. Seuss Converse. Here.
What educators need to know.
Right. I don't know
how. Racist stereotypes in his books.
And offensive content?
Racist stereotypes for a bunch of cartoon characters that aren't even human?
Right, that don't even speak really, right? Xenophobic tropes.
Yeah, nobody really says anything, right? Except the one... There was like a chicken that said, "Are you my mother?" Was that him?
Right, and the one was beating on drums. 1, 2, 3 drums or whatever.
And a couple of Whovilles.
Right, is it the drawing?
Yeah, hee hoo, or whatever the song is.
Sounds like that song you used to sing to my roommate. the Bill and Ted song. Best. That poor bastard.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe tropes or something.
Offensive content?
I don't remember any of that.
Who's offended by Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, I don't remember any of that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
There's monkeys on drums and fish. I don't remember. And a cat. I don't know. Green eggs and ham. I don't remember anything being terrible.
Biden's first press secretary, or maybe she wasn't first, but Jen Psaki said, "It's important that children of all backgrounds see themselves in children's books that they read. That's why they won't be using Dr. Seuss in Read Across America Day."
Isn't there only one human in all those Dr. Seuss books? Right? Isn't there just one chick in Grinch Stole Christmas?
I can't even read this. It's too stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's too stupid.
Right, so he wasn't a Nazi. At least we got that out of the way.
No, he's a guy who wrote wacky shit.
Right.
Everybody was every color.
Right, they were green and orange.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what's the problem?
Because they couldn't afford to print them in full color. They printed them in 3, 4 spot colors, whatever they had on the press.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I don't think there was a calculated thought to exclude Chinese people or Latin people. I don't think there was a...
He excluded all people because they were not...
There were things.
Not your typical human coloration, melanin levels, right? They were like orange and green and shit.
Right.
They were inhuman colors. So what's the problem?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Everybody finds something.
Too fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, it was trippy, if anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember anything being... I remember... I only, like I said, I remember one person. Just the chick from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And she wasn't even a person, right? She was a...
She was a who?
A who?
Yeah, the little baby he took up to the mountain, right?
Right. She was a who?
So, baby thief.
So she wasn't even a real person.
Did he steal her? Or she got caught up in the packages or something?
She went accidentally.
She's a stowaway.
Right.
Okay.
She was shanghaied.
She was shanghaied.
But then she showed him the of his ways.
The of his ways, right. Yes.
And he returned everything, which sounds an awful lot like The Nightmare Before Christmas to me. And they all sound the same.
His heart grew 3 sizes.
Right. What does that even mean? So now he's got an enlarged heart. He's got heart disease, or is he like he got a healthier heart? I mean, what are they eating up in the
You
mountain?
could probably hear him coming. I was thinking the heartbeat.
Oh, like Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, it's like war drums.
Oh, I was thinking of the heavy breathing because he couldn't get up the hill because of the bad heart. So,
The Grinch had a big ass.
that's good. He needs a bigger heart to push that big ass around.
That's right.
Like,
A lot of blood flow down there.
yeah, so how does all that equate into racial inequality
I
for a
don't know.
book?
You bang your head against the wall all day long and never get an answer to that.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you'll get an answer.
Yeah, you
Somebody will
won't
be
like it.
more than happy to provide an answer.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A long, detailed answer to say they're right.
Yeah, I'll just stab myself now and get it over with.
Right. Or I'll just not listen to you. But how are they going to fix it? How would they fix it? You're not going to have it all goes together. You know what I mean? You're not going to have that silly, irreverent literacy with people.
You see, what you're missing the point.
I think I
The
am.
point is, if you have an issue with something, the point is to bury it so you never have to address it.
That's a good idea.
Don't ever discuss it
Right.
like an adult. Just bury it and pretend it doesn't exist, or rename it into something else, and then it's no longer a problem.
Pretty good answers.
Yeah.
Or can't you just go, okay, I feel he's whatever. There's 100 other things. You know what I mean? Let's divide it more. Let's divide everything up more. You know what I mean? Like, now what? Black kids have to have black kids' books. Chinese kids have to have Chinese books. White kids have to white books. No, just take it for what it is and move on. Like, we bury the past or we try to change the past. It doesn't help anything. It's over. You don't want it going for, like, how they dig up people's information and tweets and whatever. It's like, let it go. It happened.
Yeah, and it's also a thing where they don't think that anybody progresses,
Right.
except for themselves, of course, have become
course.
enlightened.
That's
You
right.
know, nobody else has grown.
Just me. I'm the social
Right.
warrior.
Right.
I see the light at the end of the tunnel. All you people are still in the dark.
Right. Exactly.
So, do they pull them forward? Does that help them? Do they try to pull the people out of the light into the light, or do they say, "Gotcha, stay back"?
No, it's just self-grandizing.
Right.
That's all it is.
Oh, there's
It's
a lot
just,
of that.
Yeah, it's just to make themselves feel more important than everybody else. Like, if somebody goes, I know what's best for X race,
Right.
that's the most racist shit you could possibly say.
Oh,
Because
100%.
first of all, those people don't need your fucking help.
No.
They've never needed your help.
Right.
They're not asking for it. Stick your fucking nose back in
Right.
your nose should go with the gun.
That's right.
Keep it in the river.
That's right.
Leave it alone.
Keep your nose out of other people's business.
That's right. Don't touch it. Don't jump in anywhere.
Right. If you see something blatantly unjust, you could speak up, but you don't have to join the cause all the time. Like, or
Yeah,
whatever. You
well-
don't have to say, "Listen, I'll get to the front of this thing. I'll be the tip of the spear for your issues," when there wasn't an issue. Or, the silly ones. There's probably big issues that people could use allies for, right? For whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Discrimination, all that different stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's meaningless things, Betty sipping her Starbucks, reading her news articles should probably go, I'll let this one pass. They'll figure it out. Or
Yeah.
I don't even know how it starts. Like, because you know what I mean? Like, it starts with one, right? It starts with somebody said, "Oh, I think this is insensitive," and they throw it out there, right? "I think this is a plight against whatever," and then they hope that it garners steam, garners
Mm-hmm.
attention
Yep.
from somebody else, right? It's like how we have so many flat earthers also, right? If we didn't have the internet, you'd have your own pockets of flat earthers, but you'd never have a conglomerate of flat earthers.
Right.
Right.
And I think a lot of people get influenced by what they read on the internet,
Right.
and then they just become sheep.
Right. I mean, I did it with, what's his name? Paul McCartney.
Do you
being
think
dead.
that you could actually see somebody sitting at their internet reading like a flat earth article or something like that and see the transformation of the human into a sheep, kind of like American Werewolf in London.
You just get smaller.
Get smaller and hairier, but they just turn into a cute little lamb.
Yeah, I just like look like, oh my God.
They're not eating faces off.
Right. The only one I ever did was Paul McCartney being dead.
You believe that one?
For a minute.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it was? I think it was just paralysis from analysis. Just fucking, wow. I don't know if I listen to that again. It was but it was a long time ago. But now you're like, oh God, what was
Dude, that happened before you were born, probably.
Right, but they had somebody posted it all over early internet, and you could just listen to this song.
Like they pushed a second.
Like took all that information that they talked about from the '60s and then boiled it into some new, clear version of it.
Saying that he had passed back in the 60s.
Right, and this was how he passed. Here, now we can.
Right, so all that wings stuff was made up.
It was another guy.
It was another guy.
Fall.
The
We'll
other
call him
Paul.
Fall. Not the real Paul. Fall.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like, but I mean, after that, I was like, no, this ain't true. No way. But it was fun. You're
Right.
like, wow, maybe. Huh.
Paul McDartley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
McDartley. That's a good name.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, it's used, but it's,
Is it a guitar or is it a bass?
It's a bass. It's another Music Man, but I have,
4-string?
yes, and it's going to be a project. We're going to convert we're going to convert a Music Man into a passive Music Man instead of all active, and just have one knob on, which my buddy Rocco hates.
One knob?
Yeah, I told him no knobs. He said no, absolutely not. We got to put one knob.
Okay.
So I conceded to one volume knob. So the guitar just came in. Those are expensive too now. You used to be able to get used guitars cheap. They're expensive. So that's coming in. I'm bringing it over to him. He's going to rip out all the electronics and then make them passive instead of active.
Why?
Because I'm tired of changing batteries.
Okay.
So that's the deal.
All right.
I'm tired of changing batteries. I'm tired
Just
of
got to boost the gain on your amp a little bit.
What gain? There's only one knob on there too.
It's the knobless wonder.
That's right. I'm
That's
going with no
crazy.
knob. I figure it's my hands. It's
So
all in the hands.
Okay. So that's the thing. It's just supposed to be the truest form of the sound coming from your fingers.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
I mean,
You don't want really any interference from the electronics.
no shaping. If we can try to do it, kind of like guys who play upright. They don't shape, it's their hands.
Right.
It's where they move their hands, where they place their hands. So we're going to hope that that's the same output here. I don't need an amp with 19 knobs. What's it doing for you?
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I got one knob on the guitar, one knob on the amp, one knob on the floor. That's enough. We'll see
What's
how that
the
works.
floor knob for?
In case they need a little more juice into the PA.
Okay.
So
Little
just
gain.
kind of a little gain, little preamp gain. But that's it.
No overdrive in it.
No, just one knob.
Okay.
Everything's just one knob.
All right.
It's either louder or lesser. And then
Interesting.
and we'll see.
Interesting.
Well, I can't stand. I have a huge problem with people who do signature anything. I don't have a huge problem. That's really, there's worse things to worry about. I have a huge problem with homelessness, but
You know what I hate?
not being able to say the word hate, is that what you hate?
Exactly. See? It's not in me.
That's right.
Just a good soul. When people do a signature model,
Right.
but it's like a cheap piece of shit.
Yeah.
If you do a signature model and it's like a top of the line thing,
Right.
and you slap your name on it, you're like, oh, well, somebody took some time and actually did something.
Right.
Not, I made a signature model P bass for $300. You're like, what kind of
Yeah. You
garbage is that?
did. Right.
Right.
But I have a problem with the fact that it's a signature model for a reason, right?
Yeah.
This guy made it his signature because it's his signature, just like your handwritten signature.
Sure.
It's the way he plays it, the way he configures it, the way it's moved. What in your right mind thinks that I'm going to grab that Stevie Ray Vaughan $15,000 guitar, put it on and go, I'm Stevie Ray Vaughan? I mean, collector's item, go bid on the real one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. If you think you're going to play like Johnny Ramone because you bought Johnny Ramone's signature guitar, I think you're sadly mistaken.
Right.
I mean, or even relics. You ever see relics?
Mm-mm.
Fender. I'm not sure if Gibson has it, but Fender has a relics where they'll put wear on your guitar and buckle rash. And why not just go buy yourself a guitar and play it, and that'll happen.
Yeah, same thing about ripped jeans, though.
Right. Just go rip your own jeans.
Go rip your own.
Yeah. You know how much money you could probably save if you go to the store and buy a whole set of jeans, a whole pair, and then just go, maybe in your infinite wisdom, just take a little razor blade and nick it, and then let nature take its course. It's not like they make the rip special.
Right.
I mean, it's saving you time.
Yeah.
But I firmly believe relics, and I mean, it's one thing if you pick one off the shelf, like you see this guitar, you play it, and you're like, oh, this thing's good. Oh, by the way, it's a relic. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, it's a relic. Look,
You also have a problem with distressed furniture?
I don't have a problem with it so much.
Okay.
But
That's okay.
I think I have more of a problem if you're telling me that's the Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses couch. You know, it's the signature. Yeah, like it's modeled after his apartment's couch. I think I'd have more of a problem with that.
Smells like vomit.
Yeah. Like, I think I'd have more of a problem.
Yep, definitely Steven's couch.
That's right. I think I'd have more of a problem with that than I would have with a distressed wood. That's
Can you sign this for me?
Perfect. See that chord? Steven
Yeah.
Adler. But yeah, but it's not distressed wood. It's consciously made aged. You know what I mean? You want to scratch your fender, take a screwdriver and scratch your fender. What's the difference if you took a $1,200 fender, put a screwdriver to it, let's say, or you bought a $15,000 guitar that says, oh, look at this, it's got scratches on it. Because the guy at the shop, he's doing that. He's taking a screwdriver or sandpaper.
Right. A grinding wheel or something.
Right.
Nicking it up.
I mean, the first thing I did when I buy every guitar is I take sandpaper to it and I strip the neck. I don't care how much I pay for the guitar. $500, $5,000. Finish off the neck. I can't play that shit. My hands sweat too much.
Yeah.
Most guitars when we were younger that were cheap, first thing I would do is open them up and clip out all the tone knobs because it was just a waste of time. This has been a thing since I was a kid.
I can tell.
Well, no, because a tone knob is a resistor resisting the wire. Yeah. I want the power from the pickup to the volume knob.
Okay.
So it's fully open.
All right.
And if you can't hang with that, I can't help you. Look, I could walk into a...
It seems like the only person who has a problem with is Rocco.
That's right.
That's it.
Because he's got to do all the work. So, I mean, having said that, though, when I was at music school, I have a guitar that is all knobs. It was Gary Willis's.
Dude, my Music Man has 9 billion.
Yeah, I know. Yours looks like...
It has 4 knobs and 5 buttons. It's insane.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
I don't know what they go.
Right.
I just put everything all the way up.
There you go. Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah. Now that's the same theory. Like, but I don't think that, you know what I mean? Like, the guitar itself is going to go into the front of the house for me. So anybody doing sound, if they really think they want to boost something, they can boost it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the stage, it's just reference. So what do I need to turn up the bass on the stage? You know, like the bass knob or the treble knob. It's just reference. You need to hear me a little more? Here you go. And then, but my guitar with all the knobs is the tuners. The tuners were taken off and turned into knobs. That was Gary Willis inspired. So
Okay.
instead of having those little butterflies,
Yeah.
they were all taken off, and I put metal radio knobs. Guitar.
But it's still a winder.
Yeah, but you turn like this now.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that save you? That saves you about 10 minutes of class when you were going into class. Who wants to get up and play first? I will. I'm in tune already. They don't move. Like, you know what I mean? You hit your guitar against things, or it's in a gig bag, and they move, they go out of tune.
Right.
This guitar, I put it in the closet in 1993, and it's still in tune. I
Nice.
checked it the other day.
Cool.
It hasn't moved. They don't shift. I bang the guitar. They don't. But that's the only extra knobs. Otherwise,
It's not really extra. You just swapped out.
right. This Gary actually showed me how to do it, and I was like, "This is genius," because he's an odd duck, but
Right.
he's a genius. He made the little bridge so your fingers don't go too low into the strings. The Gary Willis, that bridge, whatever they call it, the Gary Willis ramp between his pickups. There's a piece of wood.
Okay.
That's the height of the pickup, so his
Like a
fingers,
tabletop.
so his fingers can't go any lower. They're in
Right.
to a certain level.
They don't get trapped in there.
Right, and I don't do that. But I would have probably drank that guy's Kool-Aid if he said, "Drink this Kool-Aid."
Yeah, I never had that problem. Did you ever have that?
No.
Because I tend to play on a pickup.
Right. Right. So you can't really go underneath it.
Right. So I might be playing on the bridge pickup or the neck pickup, but
Right.
not usually right in the middle of the two.
I move my hand a lot, but I will keep my thumb off the guitar sometimes and play that way. So I could see it slipping if I'm not paying attention.
Right.
But there's a lot of times where my hand's floating totally. I don't rest my thumb anywhere.
Yeah. I see a lot of dudes playing like that. Like, I can't imagine doing that. Wouldn't your arm get tired holding it up?
No, it depends on the music, though. I mean, if it's more aggressive, you gotta dig in. But I mean, if it's like lighter stuff or like the Beatles, you could move your hand around like that, and it doesn't really matter as much. 3 minutes, you should be able to hold your hand up for 3 minutes. I mean, you're not really holding it like this. You're
No, like this.
yeah,
But your elbows
Elbow.
off the thing.
sometimes, depending on how complicated it is. If it's easy enough, you just put your elbow on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have new music coming out too. AD4's got a new song, which will probably be new, released by the time this gets out.
Nice.
It's metal.
That's cool.
I should put it on so we can pause and put the real one on.
Say again?
I said we're gonna do like this much, and then we'll pipe in the real one. This is the song.
You gonna play it? All right.
Downloaded my file.
Is that cat shitting into a hat?
I think it's a box.
Is it? Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
Actually, it looks like a gift bag.
maybe shit in a gift bag. Oh well. Anyway,
So much for that. Well, that was awesome. I liked it.
it's a great song.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big hit, dude.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it in the background for this segment.
This might be the last podcast because John's about to hit it big.
Yeah, that's right.
The windfall is coming.
Then nothing says hitting it big at 52.
Yeah, like a 404 error.
Yeah. Like they looked around and said, all right, these guys are left. Like scraping the bottom of the thing.
Exactly.
Like they don't really, it's not really what fits, and they don't really fit, but there's 4 left. Throw them out there. See what happens.
Why not?
You know what, though? But like I said, it's not like we're doing this in 1990 when you have to all scrape up tons of money to go into a studio, get an engineer. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That gives that chance to put your own music out, put music out. And even if you don't have a lot of people like it, you did it and it didn't cost you a fortune. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what killed a lot of bands back in the day. Nobody had money to put together for
right,
demos, and
sure.
or they
Or-
all sound like shit.
Or they didn't want to commit to it
Yeah, you squeezed all your money into it, and it sounded kind of ass-like anyway.
because you didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or there was just not really great
Right.
engineering talent around.
Right. And if you did get an engineer, you paid the money, right? So let's say you committed, okay, I'm going to do a 3-song demo that sounds good, right? So you rent studio, you rent a good producer, engineer. You
Yeah.
need a producer. I don't care what anybody says. You need someone to produce you.
Yeah.
You can't go in there with your song and play it and everyone's like, perfect. You got to have somebody going,
Yeah.
maybe you should try this. Why don't you try that? I hear this a little different.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who wrote a lot of his own shit, and I was like, it was always good, but it definitely needed a producer
Right.
behind it.
One of the best things with the AD4 is that the drummer John produces it. He'll sit there and go, try this, do that. He was a studio guy, so he can sit back and go, nah, try fixing it this way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you have to be as a human and not a douche and go, oh, that guy fucking doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? How dare you talk about my playing like that? No. It's all about you gotta have a layer to say, okay, you know what I mean? As long as you're competent, then making the change is easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not competent in what you're doing, then you're going to take offense. But if you're competent and he's saying, oh, you're going up, blah, 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 you should go down, do. You know what I mean? You should be able to do that yourself, fix it.
Right.
But I think you 100% need that.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I guess if you're 18 and you're just you want to shit out a demo and hope for the best, it's not like labels anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's labels, but I don't think there's a lot of people taking chances.
Right. I mean, if you're Frank Zappa, you could do that, right?
Right.
You're like, you're playing this part, you're playing that part, you're playing this, and just here it is.
Right.
It's written out.
Right. Go.
Right? Different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But most people think they're that, but they're not.
Right.
I remember writing a song with a friend, and so it was me and the drummer and a guitar player. The guitar player wrote the song, and he was like, we were like, oh, that's cool. All right, where does it go from there? And then he played a part, and we were like, it doesn't really seem to work. And he got all pissed off, packed up his guitar, and left. Like, no argument, no
right.
like, this is my fucking song, and you can't tell me what, nothing. Just packed up his shit and left. He was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
Right.
I was like, why? We supposed to be your slaves? Like,
Yeah,
what are you
right.
talking about?
Yeah. If you're putting me on, if you're putting me on a retainer or whatever, you want me to play what you wrote, okay. But if you're like,
Right.
we're working on this idea, you know what I mean?
Right. If we're a band, we all contribute.
Right.
If we're hired guns, that's a different story, and
Exactly.
you better break out a paycheck. Then I'll play whatever the fuck you want me to play.
Right. But
Right.
like I said, the 18-year-old version of this is that, you make a demo by any means necessary, and you play shows and show after show, and then you hope that someone goes, okay, this could be worth something. Maybe you get a spec deal, you get something, right? Now it's like there's probably they don't walk into a club. I would doubt there's an A&R person anymore that would walk into a club and go, I've seen this band. Maybe they went online and said, hey, this thing made it into my algorithm because it's got 100,000 views.
Right. It's probably more like that. Yeah.
Oh, this has something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then they go, well, how can
Like
I?
for a while, they wouldn't look at you unless you had like 10,000 units sold or something like that. Right. Yeah.
How did you do on your own? Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure a person who does A&R development or something goes, okay, you have like 100,000 views on this, 50,000 views on that. You play a few shows, let's see some live stuff, and they probably monitor a band, and then they make them some kind of offer. Or these bands don't even take it, and they just go, oh, well, I'm just going to keep doing this on my own. I'm monetizing myself.
Yeah.
They go out on the road, they do merch sales, make some money there.
Probably better off.
Probably, unless something major happens, right? Where
Right. I'm sure you can only get, well, I think there's rare instances where somebody has broken through like that.
right.
I've really only kind of heard of rappers,
Sure.
right?
Right.
But they're a solo person. They're not splitting the money with 3-4 other people.
And I guess depends on if they
No road crew,
collaborated, right?
right?
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
probably got a tour manager, and
Sure.
like literally 2 people could go on the road together,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You do your thing up on stage. Maybe you got a DJ, right? And then you got the guy making sure you get paid at the end of the night,
Right.
and that's about it. So a 3-person operation as opposed to like a minimum of 7.
Right. Band. Crew.
It's a lot, right? It's
Yeah.
a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to.
And I think people are savvy. Some people are savvy. Like, well, I'm going to sign my rights away to you for $1 million now. Where somebody's slick enough in that company to turn 15 seconds of it into $1 million Coke commercial, and they made their money back on you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm sure people are more savvy now, where you'd hope that they're not quick to give away their creative chunk. You know what I mean? I think you probably need distributors or promotion. You probably need probably a hell of a better promotional tool arm, you probably would be better off paying for that than you are paying for someone to actually pay for everything. You know what I mean?
Right, because everything's cheap. You could do it
Right.
at home. Yeah.
But if you have somebody who's slick and savvy and knows how to video edit and promote and get that promotion out, there's probably pays dividends a lot faster than
Yeah, but
Any
having
label could.
somebody running your social media is probably more important than
right.
anything.
And that's what I don't know. I mean, I wonder if that's what how does Sony Records make money on? Make you money now? They probably don't. With
Well,
streaming.
now they take a piece of everything, right?
Right. They say, well, we're going to get you in front of everything.
Right.
We have the power. I'm sure if I called up Kraft Macaroni and Cheese and said, I got this song you should use for a commercial, they're going to say, huh? What? And nobody's here to talk to you. Whereas the A&R guy for the division of Sony says, hey, I got this band. I think this song might fit your Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. Sell you a bunch of units. He's going to get at least his call through. You
Right.
know what I mean? I think. I don't know. I never tried. But maybe that's what I'll do after this.
Get yourself a nice big bowl of mac and cheese.
And try to contact that number on the back.
There's a number on the back
I'm sure there is, right? Listen.
for jingles.
Yeah.
Call.
I mean, those guys, I mean, they're still there, right? In some form, jingle writers, but not really. It seems like everything.
There's that fucking commercial that I hate. do you know the one?
Burger King commercial.
BK, have it your way. Fucking awful. You flat motherfucker.
Right, but there's not a lot of jingle writers, I don't think. It feels like
No, not like it used to be. Like
Right.
even the opening intros to TV shows.
Right,
It used to be a thing. Like
right,
songs were memorable. And
Right.
they like dwindled and dwindled and dwindled over the years.
right. And commercials are songs now. Commercials are a real song.
Right.
It's like, it's 15 seconds of some song or whatever, whether it be rock, rap, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then if you watch a show, like the only shows that are using, I don't know, I mean like clip shows, like Ridiculousness, those shows, they have music in between or during their segments. They just grab them probably from the gene pool, you know what I mean? You can go out there and say, oh, I need something that sounds like, I don't know, Metallica. And I'm sure there's a bunch of guys who have recorded snippets of things that sound like Metallica, because you're not going to pay Metallica $100,000 for a 15-second
Right.
clip. But I'll download, but I can go into the service, and pay some guy $500 for his
Well,
15-second clip.
Let everyone hear me drink,
Great.
because when I swallow, it's really loud.
God. Thank God somebody's doing that. You would have made a hell of a groupie.
Wonderful.
Well, dude, that kind of wraps up another day of all this.
Yeah. You good with that? Or
I
do you want to
think
do
so.
another couple minutes?
No, I think we got everything right. I mean, solid information about nonsense.
as a rock.
And we're going to have you do a couple TOTs. We
This fucking roll.
we didn't even say goodbye.
Well, then let's say goodbye.
Till we see these people again, whoever they are.
Until next time, folks. Saying goodnight.
Good night. Peace.
TOT!